What's up, y'all? Today's video is in response to a university student's question and really is something that I wish people told me before I especially started university or college for Americans. But even I know I didn't have any experience with this in high school, but if I wanted to party or drink or anything, it's something I wish somebody would have told me. And so the question was, will I want to stop drinking, but I still really want to go out and dance and have a good time, things along those lines. And of course, I can offer my opinions and more there. In other videos, we'll talk about things like hookup culture and whatnot, which generally, yes, I was once a part of, but I'm not a fan of and would not encourage. But on the matter of drinking, as you've heard from me in videos before, I rarely drink. My specific set of rules basically is when the situation is enhanced and only when. And what I mean by that is not like, oh, if I have a drink, it's going to be social lubrication. No, I mean when it's a special occasion, more like. So my grandfather at his wedding asked me to, or before or after his wedding, asked me to have a drink with him. I said yes to that. I was here in Colombia. When we go to Juan Jose's Finca, sometimes they offer traditional Colombian liquor, which is aguardiente. If I'm doing it, say, with my dad, for example, or with first-timers, yeah, maybe I will it's literally a sample. It's pretty much less than a shot. I will do that. When we were in Montenegro, I tried, I think it's rakia is the traditional liquor there. It was like a honey liqueur. And not drinking it whatsoever in excess. Another example would be last summer when we were running an event at this 200-plus-year-old beautiful villa in Positano, Italy. And I was bartending and making Aperol spritzes for the other events. That was peak Euro summer, and so the Aperol spritz matches there. But this is not consuming 6, 7, 8, 9. This is literally, I had maybe 2 max in a day. And so that's generally my approach to alcohol, because my main deciding factor there is I recognize that, especially given my current circumstances in terms of where my health is and whatnot, alcohol for me is really a net negative or a zero sum. It serves me no benefit. And so what I mean by that is, from a health standpoint, generally alcohol, and of course, tequila is a probiotic, and as far as I understand, probably the healthiest. Vodka also has minimal calories. But for many cases in terms of alcoholic drinks, it's a ton of liquid calories. The effects of alcohol can last multiple days, and I'm not just talking about hangovers, but also, like, for example, if you're in a scenario similar to me where you're improving your physique, you're wanting to cut weight, those kind of things, it actually delays and inhibits those processes, not just for the day that you're drinking, but also for days past when you drink. So for me, there was frankly no benefit. And really the main point, I think especially common in university, college environments, is the point of social lubrication, which I believe that you should develop your social skills to the point where you do not need anything, that you can feel maybe enhanced like you might on alcohol with a buzz or whatever. You should be able to feel like that and have the ability to make those connections, meet those people, talk to girls, whatever it might be that you feel you get an enhancement from with alcohol, without the actual usage of alcohol. And so even when I was in college, I still had the social abilities to talk with or without the usage of alcohol, right? And so getting more into the going out scenario and not drinking and how to deal with that in terms of societal pressure, we've talked before about, right, how to become more like yourself and doing things that are actually polarizing. This, especially in a more modern institution, a college that's going to be known or have certainly an attachment of partying to it, and you're going to be caught in those environments, this is something that can be polarizing. You still, especially you going out with friends who may drink, being someone who says, no, I'm not doing it. And in terms of starting there, in terms of like not drinking, peer pressure we're taught throughout school and education previous to university. Parents and teachers and just educators, advisors in general, they bring up peer pressure and all these kind of things. College, university is for sure probably the number one area for peer pressure as far as I understand. And basically the whole, kind of joke that was just say no, obviously there's more behind that. But when you are firm and authentic in yourself and you are not drinking intentionally, you can be firm and strong in, no, I'm not drinking. And sure, some of your friends might give you a little backfire because that could challenge their own beliefs about drinking or more, but you can give them a firm and respectful, hey, no, I'm not drinking. And then if they don't accept that, I'm not drinking because I'm challenging my social abilities. I'm not drinking because it doesn't serve me from a health perspective, right? I really care about this. When you match it up with intention, and especially intention that is wanting to improve in a certain way, that actually psychologically makes people feel guilty if you're matching those two things up and then they continue to challenge you to drink, right? Or say some BS thing where it's like, oh, Will, like, why won't you drink with me? And my reasoning is I literally want to be in better shape and I know this negatively affects me. I've seen it before. Then, especially if this person is my friend, it's the thing that would require him is to throw away like value on that. And basically by him making me drink is sharing or demonstrating that he doesn't care about my goals, right? And especially if you're someone focusing on goals and living an intentional life and moving in these directions, the more somebody does that, the less likely you're going to want them in your life. And so that brings us to an interesting point too, that is not exactly related directly to this situation, but is something that many encounter in college, and you probably will realize as you go through life that one of the most common things in college is having habit friends. And there are good habits and bad habits, but in a lot of cases, I can specifically think of numerous people where the reason I was connected to these people was because we went out together. We went drinking and partying together and did kind of these activities where if we went beyond that activity, right, there wasn't a ton of connection. And frankly, that really doesn't serve you. So, and difference being between a habit friend and like a real friend or an authentic connected friend would be, okay, maybe you drink with both, but if you go deeper into levels and building a relationship with those real friends, right, you probably have alignment in terms of possible goals, interests, those kind of things, versus just like, okay, hey, let's drink. We don't really share values or beliefs, etc. That would be like more of a habit friend. And so that's something to always consider too, and just be aware of. Because remember, the 5 people that you surround yourself with, you become the 6th, or the 4 that you surround yourself with, you become the 5th, whatever it goes. The cliche is a cliche for a reason. It's true. And so that's important to be mindful of. But if you're not drinking and you still want to go out and be in that scenario, the main concern, we've already kind of addressed like the social lubrication, and if that's a reason you want to start, I would highly encourage that, right? Your new challenge is to learn and become better at the social game without having the, liquid confidence or whatever you want to call it. And in that scenario, this is something that my family, that I love that my family and I do, is we challenge ourselves to make pretty much any situation fun, right, or enjoyable and fulfilling. It's that same dynamic, right? You may see all of your friends around you drinking, but okay, you're already socially calibrated. How can you make this fun for yourself too? And an important factor is, what is the intention in the first place, right? Are you going out to meet people, to make friends, to do these kind of things? And I bring that up too as something to also keep in mind is if you're going out, right, to meet girls with the commonality of hookup culture, like I said, we'll touch on that later in either this video or in a different video. It's something I'm not generally a fan of and something I wouldn't recommend, but think about the quality of the people you're looking for, and generally going out may sometimes be those people. I've met generally great people in that same way, but there were other factors that dealt with it. But just evaluate what you're looking for, and right, because we want to engineer the best situations. But to just answer that simple question is to make it fun. It's dancing, it's activity, it's adventure, whatever you're looking for. So for me, especially in my senior year where I was still going out with friends, I really wasn't, I wasn't in my final semester of senior year, wasn't participating in like regular hookup culture, etc., like one-night stands, etc. No, that was out the door. And I really wasn't drinking for the most part. It was, always wanted to go to the places that had games or with people that I loved having good conversation with, right? So at my college, shout out High Point University, the place I went to, they had a place, now I can't even remember what the name of the bar is, but there were certain bars that had pool and they had darts, right? And so these are interactive games. And for me, like, I love pool personally, so that's where I would always want to go, is we could go play pool, or like there's different arcades, right? So that's something, an activity that I can still enjoy and hang out with my friends, whilst not drinking, right? And yes, there were also many a time where, I maybe went out one night a week max, and would actually work out while my friends were going out. And I had friends that understood, and they were great and were in support of me. And like we've talked about in previous videos, those friends who are really aligned with you and support you will understand that mission. They might miss you, but they'll understand, hey, Will's working. And special shout out to Spencer Silverstein as well. Maybe he'll see this, maybe he won't, but he actually even shared with me where some of our friend group was like, oh, what's Will doing? He's working out. And he said at the time, we are more or less immature and less wise college students, but his answer was, hey, Will's working on something and it's going to work out, right? And that's what he told the friends to reassure them. I didn't even know he did that until years later, but shout out and thanks to Spencer for that. If you're that friend for others, extremely helpful. But like I said, it was searching for or engineering the situation to be more helpful and more conducive. Because sometimes, like nowadays, unless, like I said, there might be that extra element in terms of doing it with the right people or having the extra, the pool or the games or something along those lines to really enhance it and make that experience valuable for me, like a valuable use of my time, was what really, really helped there. And so that's what I recommend, is to evaluate, okay, first, what is the intention of not drinking? And if you can get clear on that, that's going to make things way easier for you in terms of not falling to peer pressure and having good reasoning and acceptable reasoning that your friends, especially the ones that love you, will have no problem with. As well as engineering the situation so that it's easier to deal with it. Because, right, if everybody's around you getting sloshed, and you're the sober one, you can feel a stronger difference, right? And so if it's not in that crazy, super high, drunk environment, shall we say, then it's probably going to be a bit easier. Or if you're someone like me who loves to dance, I don't need alcohol. I will dance like a fool, like a maniac. Because I love good music and I will dance to it. If you're somebody like that, then be in those places and just choose to dance and enjoy yourself and find the enjoyment, or even make social challenge out of it. You're going to talk to these people, you're going to do this. But in general, those are all the things that I would do in order to combat, or in order to better prepare yourself and still have an enjoyable time going out whilst not drinking. If you have more questions on not drinking, why I personally don't, I rarely drink, or especially the college process, or questions about that, or the even high school process of partying and why I would actually recommend against it, please feel free to reach out on Instagram. That's going to be linked in the bio. Otherwise, thanks for the question. Shout out to you, the asker. And if you need anything else, please reach out or hit me in the comments. Thanks for watching, y'all. Blessings.